भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डुक्रुङ्करणे।
ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुः उन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। इदं तु ते गुह्यतमं प्रवक्ष्यां जनसूयवे ज्ञानं विज्ञानसहितं यज्ञात्वा मोक्षसे अशुभात्। I recited this verse from Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, because this verse has Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam. So Vijnan, your college name is there in Bhagavad Gita. So first of all, I would like to offer my thanks to our in-charge Vice Chancellor, Dr. K.V. Krishna Kishorji, also Registrar ChemDer, Dr. M.S. Raghunathan ji, and also Dean of Student Affairs, Dr. M.S.S. Rukmini Madam, and also all the other organizers of this event. I have been to many colleges for such programs across the globe. Probably this is one of the biggest response to a seminar like this I am seeing for the first time. I have generally done programs for 1,000 students in colleges, but Vijnan College responded the best way for an important seminar on this topic. I am very thankful to all the college teachers as well as the directors and everyone. Thank you. So what is the smart work as opposed to hard work? With a simple example, you will immediately understand it. Long before, you all have heard a story of a crow which was flying and came and sat on a water pot, a big pot of water. But the water was way down. So the crow was wondering, I can't go inside to drink the water. How can I get it out? So you all know the old story. So the crow went and brought some stones. And when the crow put the stones, then the water level rose up. Isn't it? And then the crow drank the water. This is a well-known story. So is it a smart work or a hard work? What do you think? It's a hard work. At that time, people considered it's a smart work because instead of going inside the jar, he threw the stones and then brought the water level up. But smarter work means to put a straw. Just go to your juice shop, take a straw, bring it, finished. That is smart work. So, smart work means think and act. Think twice before you act. Look before you leap. That is smart work. Enthusiasm not only means, jumping up and down very jubilantly. Enthusiasm means endeavoring with intelligence. That is enthusiasm. One time I was supposed to go to an airport and catch a flight. So they were taking me in a very big Innova car, very comfortable car. The only problem was traffic was very heavy. I reached almost half the distance, and after which traffic was so heavy. I said, I'm going to get off the car and I'm going to board a scooter. So they were a little unhappy. They said, sir, you are in a very big post. How can you go in a simple scooter? We have arranged an Innova car for you. I told them, you may be giving me respect by arranging a very nice car, but now I have to catch the flight. So I arranged for a scooter, and scooter went like this. Yes, you all know how they go. And I reached the airport, and I could just catch the flight before it was about to leave. So all of you students in your life, life is throwing many challenges at you. And if you're going to take stereotyped ways of doing things, you'll be left behind. So you need to learn what we call as smart work, to do things a different way. You can take a out-of-box thinking, as we say. You can think differently than the way the common people will think. And how do you think? For that you need creativity. How do you get creativity? For that you need a very calm, clear and creative mindset. How do you get that mindset? That's what you will learn today. So like this, I have given 3 or 4 tips in today's session. And if you capture even some of these tips, I can tell you, it can be a life game changer or a paradigm shift in your life. This is not just going to be another motivational seminar for you, where we just boost your false ego and make you imagine what you are not. This is actually a different type of seminar, which you will see as we proceed ahead. It will actually give you some clues, which you have to be disciplined to apply. If you do, then you will become a smart actor. You will not be a stereotyped actor. Therefore, the first thing we are talking about the book of life. So you can see there are 2 people. Here you find, see that left side. Actually, he has to click it on that picture. You tell him, you click on that picture. Yeah, see that fellow, how he looks like. So he's finding it difficult to restrain himself. On the other side, you see here. So we all can ask ourselves, what type of person am I? See, this is the book of life you are seeing. Let us assume that every one of you here, you get a chance to live your life 100 years. Each year is a chapter, which means 100 chapters. In 100 chapters book, each chapter is 365 pages. Now let us assume one of you is 18 years old. That means 18 chapters are over. So you have already written 18 chapters of your life. Balance 82 chapters are blank pages. And that's a good news for you. You can write the rest of the pages very legibly. But how have you written? He can again press it there. You press it, it will stop now. Yeah. So, what is the meaning of writing the book of life? Writing the book of life means with your thought, with your word, and with your actions, you have filled up the pages of your life. Like today morning, you got up in the morning. Till now, what have you done? Think about it. You must have spoken sweetly to somebody, or you must have spoken harshly to somebody. Or you must have acted piously or sinfully. So we all actually keep filling up our time. This is called as a time book. How we are filling up our time? We are creating good karma, bad karma by our thought, word and deed. So this book of life is very important, how you fill up. I remember when we were small children in the school days, when a new notebook is given to us, we will write very legibly, maybe first 1, 2, 3 pages. And after that, everybody knows what we do. We just scribble after that. Similarly, when we were small children, budding children, we were excited about life, very innocent, very pure, friendly. But as we grow up, we pick up, we acquire many unwanted bad qualities. Like here you see, out of these 2 families, which family appears rich? Which family appears poor? Which is rich, right side or left side? So this family is financially rich. And that other family, she is just a flower seller. But look at her 2 daughters, how happy they are. So this family has happiness, this family has money. You decide what you want in life. Of course, money, then you want to be like this. So of course you want money and happiness. Of course, if you want money and happiness, then you have to follow what you will listen in the later slides. So the reason is, both the families, they have different, behaviors. As I told you, how they're filling up the book of their life. Go ahead. Yeah. So here you see the chariot of the body. You can press further buttons. Yeah, this is the 5 senses represent the 5 horses. Huh? Like what are the 5 senses? The eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. Shabda, Sparsha, Rasa, Rupa, Gandha. 5 senses. And these 5 senses are controlled by the ropes, which is the mind. One more. And the driver, which is intelligence. And you, the real person, is the soul sitting in the chariot. Now, if you want to be peaceful, calm, clear, creative and all that, then this whole system of intelligence, mind and senses has to be peaceful. I will tell you in computer language, the intelligence is like a CPU and the mind is like a hard disk and the 5 senses are like servo motors and the chariot is like a computer and the soul is the computer operator. Is it clear? If you are clear, you can clap your hand, then I'll be confident. Okay, you are clear.
Little, if we keep mic near to the volume, will be more they are suggesting.
Like this? When it was echoing, if echo can be reduced a little bit. Is it all right? Okay. So, you, the soul, is the operator of your body. And you have a driver, which is CPU, the intelligence, and the hard disk, the mind, and the senses, the servo motors. So mind is the place where you store your past worries and your future fears, your desires, unfulfilled desires, and your lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion. They are all stored in the mind, hard disk of the mind. And how did you store them? Because these 5 senses are the ones which supply to the mind. For example, you see a poster, you capture and put it in the mind. You hear a cinema song, you capture and put it in the mind. Just like you see this, Shrotram, Chakshus, Parshanam, Rasanam, Granamevacha, Adhishtaya, Manaschayam, Vishayan, Upasevate. He says that 5 senses capture many, many things in this world and put it in the mind. So mind is a storehouse. So all of his students, you are at a very young age now. It depends on what inputs you are giving to your mind. If you are giving impure inputs, we call it as a GIGO principle. Good in, good out. Garbage in, garbage out. That's a GIGO principle. If you are going to give garbage in, then that is stored in the mind. Later on the mind will impel the working senses. Anybody knows what are the working senses? Karmendriya, this is Jnanendriya. Karmendriya is hands, legs, genitals, rectum and speech. These 5 are Karmendriyas. So if I put, here is a microprocessor. If I put impure input, then hands, legs, genitals, they will go in wrong direction. If I put pure inputs, for example, if I am putting pure input, spiritual input, then hand will take and do puja for the Lord. Hand will take and do japam of the mala. But if I am giving impure inputs here in the mind, then the hand will do dirty things. Hand will take a liquor bottle and drink. Or hand will take a cigarette, it will smoke. So, depending on what input you give in the mind, your senses are going to act accordingly. So, this example is given in Kathopanishad. Very simple example, not very difficult. You are the soul, the driver of this body. If you want to be happy, you have to control the senses. So sometimes students ask, why are you talking about control? No, we don't like control. No? They say that, we want freedom. Actually, regulative principles of freedom, we say. For example, you go to a garden. If the plants are growing in a zigzag way, different way, will it look beautiful? But you have to trim every day. That means you are controlling. You are sending a kite up in the sky. If you want it to go high, do you cut it with the blade and throw it? Do you do that? Do you do that? If you want to go in the sky, you take a spool and slowly you release it. That means you are keeping control. In a gas cylinder, you have a regulator. You are keeping control. In a flood doesn't do any good. There is control of the banks of the river, and in a dam there is 3-point control. 3 sides there is control. Where there is discipline, restraint, regulation, control, that is where the real Shakti is. It is a secret which most people don't know. Many of the youths think, just do it. just be carefree, and that doesn't make you happy at all. Therefore, as you saw here, the horses have to be restrained for our own good. This is not a bad restraint, it's a good restraint. Just like I'll ask you a simple question. Should we have any fear or no fear? Many of them say we should be fearless. But I would say fear is also good. Say if there is a wire lying here in the road and I have to walk, should I put my leg on the wire? It may be electric wire. Electricity may be passing, I'll get a big shock. So I can have a healthy fear that I will not go near it. So that fear is good. So fear is good also. Similarly, restraint is also good if it ultimately serves the goal, ultimate goal. So that is the chariot of the body. Now you all understood the chariot of the body very well. Next one. Yeah. Now you see this red band. The red band shows acquired qualities. Whereas yellow band is your natural qualities. Just like rainwater is very pure. But when it touches the ground, it becomes muddy. Because it has acquired the mud and has become impure. Similarly, all of you sitting here, you are all potentially divine. You naturally have good qualities. But you have become covered over by this red band of bad qualities. So the acquired qualities have to be removed. Like you take the muddy water and put it in a desalination plant, and again you can bring it back to its original glory. Next one. I am showing some examples of acquired qualities here. For example, you may have a habit of postponing things. You may not study in the beginning of the semester. You may think, I'll study in the middle of the semester. In the middle you think, I will study at the end of the semester. In the end you think, I will get the photocopies made from my best friends. And then day before the exam you are studying and you don't know how to complete. So the postponing is a very bad habit. Similarly, some of us have experience of becoming mood off. If it is a rainy day, I may not study. I may say that today is a rainy day, so I don't feel like studying. I'll be just sleeping all day. So it's a bad habit. But these are all small, mild bad habits. Next one. This is a little more serious. If you get easily irritated every now and then, it's not very good. Tomorrow you join a company, you get irritated with everybody, you can't work in a team. Therefore, you may have inability in team playing. We may find fault with everybody and all that. This is a little more serious. If I am such a personality like this, I need to change. If I don't change for now, change for good, then later I will suffer. Next. This is even more serious. Lacking loyalty to company or bad-mouthing about other people. Like sweet-talking on face, bad-mouthing on back. That is called duplicity. Very dangerous quality. So these are all acquired qualities of different degrees. Now you have to decide in your life whether you can observe yourself that you have some bad qualities which need to be rectified. And if you really can see, you have to go at a point outside your body and from there observe your behavior. How am I speaking? How am I acting? How am I thinking? Is my thought process proper? So those are the people who can bring about a change. Yeah, see these two things. Yeah, next. One more? Yeah, one more. So these are the 2 R's of life which are very important for all of us. At home, you want sweet relationships. When you go to the college or the office, you want good results. 2 R's of life. Like I'm very sure all of you meritorious students, you would like to get very good marks in your exam, come out meritoriously with flying colors. At home, with mother, father, brother, sister, uncle, aunt, with everybody you want to have a sweet relationship. You don't want to pick up quarrel with anybody. So for you to get these 2 R's of life, we have to have a certain type of personality. In my school days, when I was a small boy, our madam once told us, write down all the qualities you expect from your friend. So I wrote about 20 qualities. Everybody wrote 10 or 15 or like that. Then we were about to give it to madam. She said, wait a minute. You take your pen and round up the qualities which you possess. And that was a very difficult thing. When we went through that, we possessed only 4 or 5 qualities. Then madam was telling us, you expect from your friend 20 qualities, but you only exhibit 4. Is it justified? Think about it. Is it not true? Therefore, in our life, many of us, our life book of our life, we have scribbled so badly. That's why we lack in good relationships and we lack in producing good results. So this is the first tip which you have understood now, till now. The tip is very simple. Fill up the book of your life with good qualities. Be a gentleman or a good lady and speak politely. Be humble, tolerant, compassionate, kind, courteous, friendly, and hardworking, focused, concentrated. So in your dealing with others, how you deal, that will decide your relationships. And in dealing with your own personality, how you avoid. 2 bad qualities are lethargy and whimsical action. These 2 should be given up. Whimsical action means unfocused action. And lethargy means laziness. If you give up these 2 things, then your personality will become very good. Then your book of your life you can fill up well. Individually and in interpersonal dealing. When you say relationship means interpersonal. Results means individual. How you do. Next. Yeah. So that's all about tip 1. How easy it is, you see. I told you about the chariot of the body and the 5 horses. Remember that example. You have to cultivate strong intelligence by which you can subdue the impure mind and the disturbed senses. So how do you strengthen your intelligence? It's called Viveka Buddhi. How do you get the Viveka Buddhi? For getting Viveka Buddhi, we have to study wisdom literatures. Like we study Bhagavad Gita, or Bible, or Quran. The sacred texts carry a lot of valuable wisdom. Chanakya Niti, Panchatantra, Mahabharata, Ramayana, they have a lot of wisdom. So they contain much more wisdom than the modern day self-help books because they give very deep explanations. So strengthen your intelligence with which you can subdue the impure mind and the disturbed senses. So that's the tip 1. And fill up your book of life by legible writing and win the heart of others. Have good relationships and also produce good results in your life. That's the first tip. Let's go to second tip. Here's a self-test for all of you. What type of personality you are, you can check it yourself. Look at these 3 people. So there are 3 gunas, Sattva, Raja, Tama. 3 gunas. Sattva guna, Raja guna, passion. Tama guna, ignorance. If you see that first picture, he is very cheerful. He is encouraging the subordinate. That is Sattva guna means they have a very friendly disposition. They are always calm, cool, collected, creative, polite, well-behaved, gentle, courteous. That is Sattva guna. Raja guna means they are angry, irritated, competitive, selfishly driven. They want to show glamour, see glamour and all that. That is passion. See, in this middle picture, who is suffering? Boss is suffering or subordinate is suffering? Subordinate is an incompetent subordinate. So who is suffering? Boss or subordinate? In the middle picture. The answer is both are suffering. Ask yourself, if you are in that position of the boss tomorrow in a company, you have an incompetent subordinate, what you will do? Will you shout like this? You can get him trained, or if he is untrainable, then change his department, or find out his unique potential and engage him in another department. See the third one, Tamoguna, ignorance. The curve is dropping down, probably due to COVID or something. So that fellow is depressed. So the third category people, Tamoguna people, they are always lazy, they are depressed, they oversleep, they take sleeping pills, they drink, they smoke, they take drugs, they want to forget the problems in life, they become panicky, they are insecure, they always think others are getting ahead of me and I can't do anything in life. They don't take initiative. Like you have found sometimes some students don't write their assignments, they copy from others. So these people don't take any initiative. Third one. So Therefore, the tamoguna is characterized by three words: nidra, alasya, pramad. You all know nidra means too much sleeping. Alasya means laziness. Pramad means madness. So, therefore, these people tend to be inattentive and they postpone and they are dull and they're depressed. They get suicidal thoughts. They always intoxicate themselves to forget the problems. Most importantly, they're indecisive. They're insecure. When suddenly some problems come, they will become panicky. Next one. Yeah. The passion is characterized by lion, you see. These people, if you give them a remote of a TV, within 5 minutes they will change 50 channels. Because they always are indecisive which one to watch. They have a tendency to hop and jump. Yeah. And you see, the desire to enjoy life, unregulated, they join a cutthroat competition, they're envious, angry, proud. And like a lion, they're individual players. They are not like the ant, which is a team player. Ant is a team player. They are individual players. They have a controlling and bossing tendency. And they are thirsty for prestige. They will never share credit with anybody. They will want to grab all the credit for themselves. So you get an idea of Rajoguna. I told you Tamoguna, Rajoguna. Now Sattva-guna is represented by a cow. Very mild-natured people, friendly, cooperative. They can work well with others. They are regulated. They have wisdom. Easily they forgive others' mistakes. They are very disciplined and respectful and obedient, tolerant, friendly. They have control senses. And they are obedient to the scriptural injunctions also. So they lead a very cheerful life. See the top, Sukham and Jnanam. They experience happiness and they also have Jnanam, knowledge. Based on these 3 slides which I showed you now, I'm going to show you a quiz now, which let us see how you answer it. This is a poem which I wrote probably a couple of years ago. A cab seller, tired of a long distance walk, kept his basket aside and slept off under the shade of a banyan tree that was full with a group of mischievous monkeys. After a while he got up from his sleep and found his basket was totally empty. The monkeys had picked up each one a cap and wearing on their heads soon climbed up the tree. This is a story. Now you are seeing the picture. The cap seller lost all his caps. Monkeys had taken one each and wearing on their heads climbed up the tree. If a boy or a girl was in mode of ignorance, tamoguna, what would be the response of the businessman? That you have to say. All the 3, tamoguna, rajoguna, sattva-guna. Think about it. What do you think a person would do if he is in mode of ignorance? He sees that all the caps are gone. Now what should I do? Anybody? So, what would a person in mode of ignorance do? The person would cry. He would become panicky. Alas, all my caps are gone. He will take the empty basket and go home and cry to his wife. He will tell his wife that I am gone now. My business is doomed. And this is what happened in the beginning of COVID. When the COVID started, some businessmen were getting allergic, getting fearful. But the COVID continued 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. Then in America, one of the industries came from 900 crores to 300 crores. So some of the businessmen collapsed. Some died out of fear only. How long this COVID is going to go? So if you are in Tamoguna, you lose control. You become panicky. You cry and you collapse and you lose the confidence in Tamoguna. In Rajoguna, what do you think the man would do with the monkeys? He would take some stones and pelt the stones at the monkeys, or he would take a stick and run behind the monkeys. Do you think he can get the caps back? The monkeys will all run away to other trees far, far away, along with the caps. Caps are gone, monkeys are also gone. But a person in Sattva-guna what he would do, that you all know, because the story is well known in India. Correct, no? What did he do? He first thought, what is the nature of the monkeys? The monkeys generally copy whatever a human being does. So he took his cap and threw it in the basket. So monkeys also took their cap and threw it in the basket. He got all the caps back and he went home happily. So the most important thing is what? You know, we have to think before we act. Whereas people in Rajoguna partially think and they act. And in Tamoguna there is no thinking, no acting. They don't even start the work. They are very lazy. And if they start the work also, if some difficulties come, they will drop it. That is Tamoguna. Think about it. Is it your nature? Is it your habit? We all can ask ourselves, do I at least take initiative? Or I am waiting? Like, you know, there is a saying in English, the ships are very safe in the harbor. But that's not what the ships are meant for. It's not that you keep the ship in the harbor all the time sleeping. Ships have to go in the ocean. Similarly, some people don't take initiative at all. But some take initiative, but after some time they give up. When they see there is some difficulty. But those who are in Rajoguna and Sattoguna, they will be determined. When going gets tough, the tough get going. You heard this saying? Like in Ulysses, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield, he says. That is determination. So then you are determined, but the problem in passion is what? Passion means people make snap decision. Like this fellow saw the monkeys have taken the caps. They make a snap decision. Take the stone, take the stick, whatever is in the hand, you hit them, get the caps back. So he didn't think. He didn't know that the monkeys can jump away and go away. Without thinking, he started acting. Whereas Sattoguna means you sit back and you think, how can I get the caps back? I have to make a plan to somehow, the goal is to get the caps. The goal is not to beat the monkey. The goal is to get the caps. So I'll tell you another problem. Let us assume that, see, now we have a beautiful hall here, open on all sides. It's a very fresh environment here with greenery all around. But imagine you are in a hall which is closed on all sides. It's a big theater and you're watching a movie. Suddenly a fire breaks out. And you see the smoke engulfing the hall. And there's a fire, like the electric wire has captured fire. In case it captures fire like that and it is coming, and there are 1,000 people sitting in that hall, what will you do? Ask yourself. So I asked this question in NIT Surat. I was there some time ago. So one of the boys was telling that, oh, I am very afraid of fire accident. He said, as soon as I see the fire, I loudly cry, because nobody will allow me to escape the hall. Because at the entrance, there are only 2 entrances. Assume that there is one here, one there, and all other doors are closed. There are only 2 entrances, and 1,000 people have to come out. They can't come out very easily. So I asked, what will you do? And some of them said, one girl said, I will take an extinguisher, fire extinguisher, and try to put off. But I said, the fire is too big. You can't put off with your... And also you should know how to operate the extinguisher. If you don't know, you can't do it. What else can you do? So one boy said, we will rush to the gate and push everybody aside and go. If they wouldn't allow me, I will climb on their shoulder and jump out. So different people said different things like that. But only one girl answered the question correctly. She said, immediately I'll take my phone and call up my parents, and after that I will call up the fire brigade. Because it's available in your phone, fire brigade number. Because if you call them, they will come and put it off quite fast. But the idea is, whenever you are subjected to crisis, first you should think before you act. Buddhir yasya balam tasya. Which means one who uses the brain, intelligence, the strength is with that person. You all might have heard the story of that rabbit once was caught by a lion. And the lion was about to eat him. The rabbit said, sir, please let me go back to my home, tell my wife and children, say bye-bye, and I'll come back. But the lion said, but what if you don't come back? But the rabbit assured him. So the rabbit, instead of coming at 1 o'clock, the rabbit came at 3 o'clock. And the lion was very angry. Why are you so late? The rabbit said, sir, on the way I saw one big lion and he claims to be the king of the jungle. I told him that you are not the king, king is here. But sir, he is still claiming to be king. What I should do? Therefore I got late, he said. So immediately the lion said, okay, I will come and meet him. So he went to see. So the rabbit showed him a big well. When he looked inside, whom did he see? He saw his own form. But then he jumped into the well, and that was the end of the lion. Rabbit was small, lion was big, but the rabbit was more intelligent. He used his intelligence to think. Therefore, I told you, think first and act next. Look before you leave. Vision first, action next. Imagine if there's a manhole on the road when I am walking. I should see the hole first. Oh, there's a hole. Then I go like this. So therefore we say, vision first, action next. Not that I am walking like this and I fall inside. And then I see, oh, I have fallen inside. So vision first, action next. So that is Sattva Guna. Yeah, here is an interesting thing, next one. You see, Sattva and Rajas combination makes you a leader. Sattvic and Rajasic combination. So Rajas means Raja, king. Sattva means saint. So if a king is guided by a saint, it's called Raja Rishi. For example, Chanakya guided Chandragupta Maurya. And Samartha Ramdas guided Shivaji Maharaj. Buddha guided Ashoka. And similarly Vasishta, he guided Vasishta guided Dasharatha, Lord Ramachandra and all of them. You will always find. Similarly, Dhaumya Rishi was guiding the Pandavas. All the kings in the Vedic times were guided by saintly people. Why? Because they combined those two things, Sattva and Rajas. See, the intersection makes you assertive. If you are only Rajasic, you will be aggressive. And if you are only Sattvic, you will be noble. But when you combine polite and firm, bold and sensitive, courageous and considerate, when you combine these two, that makes you a leader. A leader needs two traits. Nobility is a soft trait, and aggression is a strong trait. But you have to combine both to be a leader. So that's what gives you maturity. So next one. Yeah, that's it. So now, based on tip 2, you all can think, are you tamasic, are you rajasic, or sattvic? So, smart worker is who? Smart worker is sattvic. Or a rajasic worker who takes support from sattva also. Is guided by, rajas guided by sattva. For example, a flood is rajasic. But if the flood has one bank this side, another bank this side, third one this side. So like parents, teachers and God. When you put these three things, then you get a dam. A dam is very useful. Dam can give out water for irrigation purposes slowly. That is the... So in the same manner, the sattva puts a little restraint on the rajas. Then you become very, very powerful. So every one of you sitting here, you all have potentially innumerable talents. But some of your talents are underutilized. Because sometimes you get distracted in life. You, instead of being very focused, you get distracted. Therefore, many of your talents are hidden and they don't come out. So, if you can add sattva to your life, then your rajas will become guided by sattva. Otherwise, modern day youth are all mostly in rajaguna and tamaguna. These two gunas are very prevalent in society. So, their talents are all not getting chance to be expressed. So, sattva means discipline. Like for example, early to sleep, early to rise, eating pure food, and also pure habits, pure in speech, pure in thinking, pure in action. So these are all sattvic qualities. So now another small test for you. For you, what type of time manager are you? Yeah, you can see this. Are you a good planner? Are you a good worker? Or are you good in relationships with others? So now what you all can do, very, very simple activity. If you are good in planning, you put a plus. If you are not so good in planning, put a minus. And if you are good in working, put plus. You turn out a lot of work, then you put plus. If you many times plan, but you don't do work, then you put minus. Some of you may feel that you are very gregarious in nature, very friendly, you have a lot of friends, you always are surrounded by people with you. Then you put plus there. And some of you may be introvertish, you may not have so many friends, you don't connect with people, then you put minus. So it may be plus, minus, minus, or plus, minus, it can be like that. So all the three you write down, and then I am going to show you the results. Okay? Take 1 minute, do that. Okay, now next one. You can see the answers. You are called as a plus time manager, provided you got 2 pluses out of 3. How many of you got 2 out of 3? 2 plus you got? 2 pluses. And more than half I see, I think. Okay. Okay, thank you. So now you can see, in case you got plus, you are a balanced person. If you got plus, minus, that means you do your own thing. You plan and you do, but you don't interact with others. You don't have friendships much. You are a loner. You do on your own. What is the problem with that? Tomorrow, after 4 or 5 years, you want to cry to somebody, some problem, nobody will be there for you because you never connected with anybody. Thirdly, minus plus means without planning, some people rush to do work. For example, say you have a subject on which you want to make a nice notes. On your own, you want to make question answer format notes. But somebody has already done it in the past. Nowadays, we are living in the world of internet. Everything is available. If you go to SlideShare.net, so many slideshows you get ready-made. You can download them and modify them many times. So, many times you don't have to reinvent the wheel. But people who are minus plus, they don't consult anybody. They just rush to do work. Therefore, you do, without planning you do. And then plus means for other people they work, they don't do their own work. See, plus means these are only people with good intention, but they don't do any work. Now you are called as a minus time manager. Like, those people who are dreaming and planning, they are called daydreamer. Those people who work hard without planning, they are called workaholic. And people who are very nice in relationship with others, but who don't do any work at all, they are called popular. They are very poor in finishing work. Next one. Any of you got 2 minuses and 1 plus? You can check this chart. Any of you got 2 minuses and 1 plus? You can check it. These people plan, but they don't do at all. They are called daydreamers. These people, no, don't plan, don't interact, work hard. They bury their head into the table. They work hard all day, 16, 18 hours a day, workaholics. And these people only connect with people. They go in the office here, there, ha, he, hoo, they keep talking. They take coffee, they take tea, they don't do any work. Popular people, one day they'll be fired from the job. There are people like that. Third one. And the last one, minus is very dangerous because these people are depressed people. They don't do anything in life. So what type of student are you? You must be either in these 4 or the first 4. So how many of you understood this? You got some benefit from this step? Anybody can raise your hand? Okay, there are more than half of them. Okay, thank you. So now, after knowing this self-test which you did, I am going to release the greatest secret of today's session just now. If you know this one thing, it can be a paradigm shift for you. You see, this is called as quadrant 1, where you have some urgent things which are also important for you. For example, one of you suddenly got a health crisis. So you were tested COVID positive. You were taken to the hospital, and my parents and relatives, everybody is worried about you. So then there's a health crisis. So it takes away your 20 days straight. You can't study, you can't do anything, you are bedridden, you are taking medicine and everything. So imagine, such a thing should not happen before the exam, but sometimes it happens. So that is quadrant 1 means urgent, important. And also deadlines for assignment submission. How many of you felt tension when you have to submit assignments within a stipulated date? That is also quadrant 1. Surprise test. Why students don't like surprise test? In your college you give surprise test? Why students hate surprise test? Actually, there is no reason for hating, because if you are studying every day, surprise test is no surprise for you. But surprise test becomes surprise when we have not studied. Then it comes to quadrant 1, urgent, important. Immediately you have to write the test. Also, sometimes you are working in the computer, doing lot of work. Suddenly the computer crashes or hangs, and you may cry out, alas, so much work is lost. Therefore, dear friends, quadrant 2, I am going to show you now, is the most important quadrant. See this one, it's called quadrant of quality. So before health crisis comes, you should do prevention for your health. Like many of you are wearing masks now, and that mask is actually a prevention. Prevention for your health. Take utmost caution that before the examination, the health doesn't get spoiled. Keep yourself healthy. Similarly, assignments, you get deadlines. So beforehand, you prepare for the assignment. Don't take it to last minute. All the students, those who don't study during the semester, they get tense during the end sem. So therefore, quadrant 2 means not urgent, but important. You see, training, getting training in weak subjects, relationship building with good friends, go to toppers or go to those who are good notes makers, make relationship with them, take guidance from them. And also relationship building involves having good relationship with parents, and also pious friends, good friends, cultivating good habits, that's also coming in that. Planning study slots for the whole semester, well in advance, from the beginning. So quadrant 2 is actually a very cool quadrant. It is not at all urgent, but you plan in advance. And then see quadrant 3, useless phone calls. Some phone call for information or some typical clerical type of work, or you want to book a room, book accommodation or something. Instead of you going and searching, you can go to a broker. Just pay him some few thousand rupees and get an accommodation, rather than you going around and searching. So there are many things you can delegate, which you don't have to do. And the last one is delete. Useless, unproductive engagements. Sometimes friends drag you to dirty movies or parties or dangerous adventures like skydiving. Skydiving or skydiving, some people die also in that. So one has to avoid certain useless and dangerous engagements, harmful recreations one should avoid. And time wasters like WhatsApp and emails, needless to say, you all know it. In WhatsApp, people send so many things. Nowadays, people have no time to go through also everything. So don't waste time in the last quadrant. So the third and fourth quadrant is tamoguna. It's all tamoguna. Third and fourth quadrant, tamoguna, rajaguna. And the quadrant 1 is also rajaguna. Quadrant 1. Quadrant 2 is sattvaguna. I have put it in yellow color, highlight. So ideally speaking, these two we should delete. Our life should be like this. Or we can go back, go back. One more, correct. You see, in quadrant 2 you plan, in quadrant 1 you execute. If you do preventive maintenance, you can avoid breakdown maintenance. If you do assignments on time, you can avoid deadlines. This is what our life is supposed to be. But unfortunately, we are wasting a lot of time in Rajoguna, Tamoguna, which I will show you in the next slide. Now I am going to show you I can hear a loud shout from all of you. You should say, is it Sattva Guna, Raja Guna or Tama Guna? Okay? Okay, let's go one by one. First one, never setting goals or setting goals and not sticking to them. Which guna? Tamo Guna, correct. Because Tamo Guna people have no goal in life. They don't take initiative. Therefore it is Tamo Guna. Moving around and socializing too much to feel security. Yes? Anybody? Is it Rajoguna or Tamoguna? Why is it Tamoguna? Because they are socializing for the sake of getting some kind of security that I am also somebody. They feel themselves insecure. Therefore it is Tamoguna it is. Low level of concentration, getting easily distracted by trivial things. Which guna? Yeah? No. Getting distracted means Rajoguna. Because in Rajoguna people think, oh, this is better, that is better, this is better. Maybe this will produce more money. They keep on hopping, jumping. That kind of distraction comes in Rajoguna in the mind. Like for nowadays you are studying some subject in the computer, suddenly some pop-up comes. Beep! Like that. Immediately go to click the pop-up, and that is Rajoguna. You see? Doing more than one thing at a time and accepting unrealistic deadlines. Yes? Anybody? Anybody? You can loudly shout the answer. Rajoguna. Why Rajoguna? Rajoguna people like to accept unrealistic deadlines and show to the world, I am also somebody. I can do what nobody can do. That kind of pride they have, that is Rajoguna. Yeah, getting involved in everything to gain credit and popularity. Is it Tamaguna? In Rajoguna, people want popularity. People want name, fame, glory, popularity. They are like a lion. I told you the example of a lion. They want to stand out from the public. Yeah, that is Rajoguna. Indecisive and postponing decisions, that is Tamaguna, yeah. Thinking no one else can manage my work if I am absent, that is Rajoguna, yeah. Feeling difficulty to work with highly accomplished and smart leaders. Actually, it can be in both Rajoguna and Tamaguna. In Rajoguna, you are like a lion, individual player. You can't play with others. You say that I will do it and you all clap hands. That is Rajoguna. And Tamaguna, a person cannot work with also smart leaders because he feels insecure. Oh, this person is so intelligent, I am so low class, so he feels insecure. Forgetting things or badly organized unclean desk. Tamaguna, correct. Tamaguna people are unclean, unorganized, unplanned people, yeah. Looking for too much of perfection in job leading to micromanagement. Yeah? Rajoguna, that's correct. Why? Because Rajoguna people will delegate the work, but they will get behind people doing micromanagement. Why? Because they are perfectionists. Therefore, they will burn out themselves and burn out others also. Yeah. So, these are all, see the heading I have given. Find out which mode these time wasters items belong to. See, these are the time wasters in quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. Is it clear? So, if you can avoid these items, quadrant 3 and 4, your life would be having so much time. Quadrant 1 and 2 you focus on, you will have ample of time. I will send this PowerPoint to Madam, so you all can get a copy of it, so you can leisurely go through it. So these are all quadrant 2, you see? Improving communication with people, better preparation, better planning and organizing, taking care of yourself by yoga or pranayama and all that, mantra meditation and all that, seizing new opportunities, personal development, preventive maintenance, getting empowered, so, and empowering your other people like that. So, how can we boost our Sattva Guna? We have given some things here. Association of the saintly, who have saintly qualities like love, compassion, devotion. And books like wisdom books, I told you, C for chanting, D for diet. I've shown this in the next slides. Show the next one. One more? One more? Yeah. See, association means what you associate with, what kind of books you read. Do you read some novels? Or you read Bhagavad Gita and books like that? And what kind of movies you watch? What kind of music you listen? If you hear rock music, it disturbs your biological rhythm. It's like putting a person in a rickshaw and toppling the whole rickshaw. It's like that. On the other hand, you hear devotional music. It is mind purifying and elevating. It is proven nowadays that music can make the plants feel comfortable and grow very smoothly. What kind of friendships you keep? These are your association. If you keep good association, you get good. Otherwise, if you keep bad association, you get bad. Next one. See, books of wisdom, like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. You see, there are so many distractions nowadays, like you see below. Therefore, the horses are running in all directions. So let us read books like this, Bhagavad Gita, and strengthen our intelligence. Next, mantra meditation. This mantra meditation has become internationally popular now. Two things are popular in America now, Kirtan and yoga. This is the mantra we chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Some of you may be coming from a Christian background. You may want to chant Hail Mary. Some of you may come from Muslim background. You may chant namaz with your rosaries. Some may come from Sikh background. You may chant Vaheguru. Some may come from Buddhist background. You may chant Namo Abhida Butsu. In every dharma there is mantra. Here you can see, next one. This is by Dr. Herbert Benson says that the overall metabolism of the body slows markedly if you do these four things. Sit in a quiet environment, in a comfortable position, repeat a prayer, Hare Krishna, repeat the prayer, and mind free from all other thoughts. Then he says metabolism slows down, heart rate and breathing rate, blood flow slows, and then one feels relaxed alertness. You come to Sattva Guna. One more. See, Sattva Guna is a yellow strip you see here. This is the Harvard University research. They found that if you are chanting Hare Krishna, you are in the range of 8 cycles per second to 13 cycles per second. If you go below 8, you get drowsy. Below 3, you go to sleep. Above 13, you get active. Above 18, you become hyperactive. In Japan, some shop superintendents went above 21, 22 cycles per second in their hyperactivity and they died on the spot. It's super hyperactivity, like that. Therefore, this chanting and meditation helps us to calm the mind. Calm, cool, clear, creative thinking. You will get by meditation. Next. Next, I have shown the sattvic foods. Like here you see, these are sattvic foods. Next one. Yeah. You see, they increase the duration of life, like the vegetables, fruits, cereals, milk, curd, and all these vegetarian items. And they give strength and health and everything. Next, the prasadam plate. You are reminded of the lunch. Next one. See why we have put the elephant? Because the elephant is a vegetarian. Somebody may think that if I eat vegetarian, I'll become weak. But the elephant and giraffe, both of them are vegetarian. You can see that they are feasting on vegetables. Next one. And the passionate food is sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, burning. It causes pain while eating also. When it goes inside, it causes a lot of problems. And also, it causes diseases also. Yeah. Actually, passionate foods produce passion in us. For example, when you kill an animal, goat or a chicken, the animal is afraid and the animal is also angry. So animal tries fight and flight response. When you try to kill, animal tries to run away. When you catch it, it tries to attack back. So fight means Rajoguna, flight means Tamoguna. So Tamoguna, Rajoguna both come to us when we eat these things. See, ignorant foods. prepared for more than 3 hours, decomposed, tasteless. Even the liquor, they keep the grapes under the ground for a long time, many years, and then they take it out and make the liquor. It's a tamoguni food. One should not eat the tamoguni things. Yeah. Thank you. I have completed. Thank you. So, I gave you how many? 3 tips, I think. Huh? So, we will quickly see. Only the tip I will show now. What I showed you. This is the this one. No. Go back to the first one. I'll tell you the slide number 3. Slide number 3. Slide number 3. You can go. Slide number 3. Number 3. Click the number 3 slide. Yeah. Who is operating the slideshow? Yeah. This is the tip number 1 I showed you, Book of Life. Okay. And then after that, I'll tell you the number. Slide number 10. Go ahead to slide number 10. So that was a tip 2 is self-test for my personality type, where I told you about Sattva-guna, Rajaguna, Tamaguna. Okay? And then tip number 3 is slide number 17. That is, am I a plus time manager or a minus time manager? There I told you about 3 types of people. Planning, working, and interacting. Correct? Actually, you have to do all the 3 in life. Plan a little bit and start working. Don't plan too long. And while working, when you are feeling little stress, go and meet others and develop relationships. All the 3 we have to do. So that was the 3rd one. And then last one was, that's all. After the 3rd one, I came to the solution part, beginning from A, B, C, D, E. That is slide number 25. Yeah, this is the one. A, B, C, D. A for association. B for books like Bhagavad Gita. C for chanting. D for diet. And E means environment or ambience. So these are very good to increase our sattva guna. And when sattva guna is increased, you become very cool, calm, clear, creative, balanced. You can be a relaxed thinker. So this is actually the smart work to combine sattva in your life. Thank you very much. You see, one example I'll tell you in my life, I use only this phone. Many people gifted me a smartphone, I refused. Why? Because I used to get about 100 calls every day. Then I decided to use a small phone. I can't give long SMSs also. But I am very good in email. I tell the people, if you really want to get anything from me, write an email. And people don't write too many emails. In our life, we all have to decide what you want to do in life. Be clear. To achieve the goal, you have to modify your current style of lifestyle. Then you can accomplish the goal. That is actually smart work. Smart work, we don't have to imagine what it is. Smart work means you are goal-oriented. And you will take the steps leading to that goal very smartly. You will choose in a smart way. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Again, I want to thank all the organizers for this, giving the opportunity to address all of you. I think here there is an interaction. They have given 10 minutes, I think. I have already taken half of it. 5 minutes, if anybody wishes to ask questions, can they ask? Yeah.
We listen many motivational speak daily from different sites. Today also we are interacting with you. But following is the different one. Be unable to follow the what we listen. That's the, I think, the most important that we are, any student or anyone.
What is the name of your college? Vigyan.
Yeah.
Jnana means knowledge. Vigyan means application.
But
It practically apply. Therefore, you will apply because you belong to Vigyan College. Correct.
but we are unable to execute.
Yeah.
I unable to execute what we listen from. Just I listen from you many motivational talks, but I cannot apply to my life, our regular life.
So, for applying in our regular life, there are methods also mentioned. There are baby steps given. A, B, T. You can remember three things: attitude, behavior, and thinking. Three things.
Yeah.
So, how do we change our attitude? Only one thing you have to do: take responsibility for whatever you do in life and don't blame others.
Yes.
That is attitude change. If you want to change my attitude. Generally, what we all do, when some problem happens, we blame others. Stop blaming and take responsibility. Gandhi said, you be the change, what you want to see in others.
Yeah.
He said that. So that's for attitude. And for thinking, you have to do two things. Go out of your body and observe your, way you see. That's called self-awareness. How did this bad habit hook onto me? I want to get rid of this habit. And let me give up this habit and pick up another good habit. So this kind of thinking is required, loud thinking, self-awareness. After that, in thinking, we need positive attitude. For example, I ask you to go to your garden and see, what do you see? You can come back and say that, oh, garden is full of fragrant roses. Or you can say, garden is full of thorny bushes. Both are true, because rose comes in a thorny bush. But we have to learn to see the sunny side of life, not the dark side of life. So these two are thinking, self-awareness and positive outlook. So if you keep doing it repeatedly, then you will be able to modify your thinking. From today onwards, you do one thing. Every day, you give 5 compliments to your friends, from morning to night. Go to your friend and say, oh, you sang very beautifully. We heard Bhaja Govindam, they were singing. You can go and appreciate them. Oh, Bhaja Govindam was so nice. Thank you, isn't it?
Similar compliment is valid, or we have to change I have to change our compliment to our friends, each day new compliments.
Yeah. No, but if we keep giving compliments every day 5, then our negative attitude goes away by that. So our thinking will change. And behavior, how do we change? First, you should know what is right, what is wrong. You should study Bhagavad Gita and find out what is right, what is wrong. Second is, you should pick up the right and give up the wrong. And this is what I want to do. And the wrong thing I'm going to give. And thirdly, you have to adopt a discipline. What is the discipline? This is the right thing. Today onwards, I will try doing. I will make an effort not to fail. Keep applying day after day, month after month, year after year. The discipline will come. For example, some boys sleep 8 hours at night and 4 hours in the day. So in case somebody is sleeping, then I will change it. So bring about a discipline. Even if daytime I am feeling sleepy, no, I will not sleep. I will go and do I will go to the library, I will study. Correct, no? Yes. So in this way, know the right, pick up the right, and do the right. That is behavioral change. So A, B, T, all 3 can be changed. Attitude, behavior, thinking. All right? Yeah, thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, yeah.
Okay, we listened all your speech and interacted you very well. We explained everything. You explained everything and we understood crystal clearly, I guess. And we are trying to apply that in our life. But one thing I have to ask is, sir, you said everyone in the life, at any situation of life, matlab 365 days in 1 year, 100 chapters in a book of our life, in any one page, we can experience our mood off. When we are getting mood off and we feel that low confident, when our confidence is lost totally and we feel that we can't do anything like that, how can we overcome that type of situation, sir?
That time you should go to uplifting people. Those who are very uplifting in nature. Find out your friends who are cheerful friends and make friendship with them. If you go and spend some time with them, they will completely change your mood. Cheerful people. That is one of the easiest ways. And Gandhi says, whenever I felt depressed mood, I turned to Bhagavad Gita, he says. Because in Bhagavad Gita beginning, Arjuna was also depressed. And Krishna spoke the Gita. Then Arjuna became cheerful. Then he took the bow and arrow and fought a valiant battle and emerged victorious. So therefore, we can recite some shlokas from the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Then we will come out of our depression. So taking help of the wisdom literatures, taking help of the cheerful friends. And also when we are moved out, we should not sit down. We should stand up and become active. Go somewhere, go and play volleyball or play some cricket. Change your stagnancy to action. Then you will feel a mood change. Or go and take a water shower all over your body, then immediately my mind changes. So you will see, don't stay in one place and keep brooding over the past, because worry may bury you, it is said. Is that all right?
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Murari of 3rd CSE. So one question is that everyone fears for examinations and all. So how to overcome that fear? Because stress is something that's a huge part in our life, and for example, people are scared, feeling stress for losing their hair, and they're losing their hair because of stress. So some things of like these are happening, right? So what is the best way to overcome these?
I would say act on quadrant 2, not urgent important, which means, why do we fear the exam? Because we are not well prepared. If I start my study from the day 1 of the semester, generally what I would do in my college days, first 3 months study the Indian books, the next 2 months study foreign other books. You have ample of time. Then in preparatory leave, again go back to Indian author books and go through all the previous university question papers, because from there only you get questions often. You go back to that. So then when you go to exam, you are very confident. You have several times studied. Same book over and over, we would study several times. Actually, students means we have to be very enthusiastic. Like in our college, 3-4 of us would be in the top 3 ranks. So we had a nice competition. I would make some notes and share with him, and he would make some notes and share with me. So because students means your focus should be studies. But people nowadays get distracted by too many things. Most time goes in social media. That's the problem. They start with the book, but they keep the book aside and get into social media. And then when exam comes, they get tense. So I would say, don't be like the rabbit who slept on the way. And the tortoise went ahead, isn't it? So we have to be slow and steady, wins the race. So if they are right from the beginning of the semester, they study steadily, they can overcome the tension of exam. That's what I would say. But let us assume that somebody didn't study. Now the exams have come very close. Therefore, Lord Krishna teaches in Bhagavad Gita 2 very important principles. Do your best and leave the rest. So he says, do your best, he says. He doesn't say do the best. The best, he doesn't set a standard. Everybody's best will be different. So he is like, Jatayu, he fought a battle and lost his life, but Lord Rama blessed him to go to spiritual world because he put his best. Squirrel, while building that Setubandh, he put his best. Hanuman put his best. Similarly, any student, little time is left for the exam, put your best. And then let God do the rest. This is one principle. Another principle is hope for the best and be prepared for the worst. That is another principle in Gita, Lord Krishna teaches. So for example, I have 6 papers to pass. I have only studied 3 very well. So make sure you will pass the 3 and make an effort to pass the other 3 also. Maybe I may pass in 4 or 5. So hope for the best. What is best? All 6 I pass. And what is worst? All 6 I fail. And in between all possibilities. So once you have written down this, then confidence comes. All right? Thank you.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. So in my channel, I have put one playlist called as Behavioral Science for Youth. I think about 85 or 90 lectures are there, where similar questions are answered. Do your best, tit for tat or tolerate that, this kind of things. Actually, the number of playlists I have are probably 60, 70 playlists, but you have to locate Behavioral Science for Youth. And also one more playlist I have put as Gitamrita Bindu. This Gitamrita Bindu is 108 sittings, 30 minutes each, Bhagavad Gita. Total Gita you will learn in 108 sittings, 30 minutes each. I am doing all these things because of COVID now. We had a 2 years closure, ample of time was there. So I prepared these things. And student age is actually the right age to learn these things. Because afterwards, once you get married, then you have children, you have family, life will throw a lot of challenges on you. I appreciate your college authorities for organizing such programs as this, because they are giving you an opportunity to loudly think about life and face the challenges of life rather than run away from them. Thank you.